life, love, relationships.
Wait, we're gonna give away all our secrets?
Welcome to The Man Perspective
With K-Man
and The Dawn.
On this episode of The Man Perspective, we're talking about defunding the police. Should we or should we not defund the police?
Wow. Well, I want the police to protect me.
Yeah, agreed.
We do need them for all the bad, quote unquote, bad people, as they say. I know because they've been in the news recently about the things that they haven't been doing correctly. And that's a whole nother topic. I mean, we even did a topic on police brutality. We did like a 7-part series on that.
Yeah, that's true.
What police can do, the training that they need to do. But the one thing that came up was that, should we fund or defund the police? Now, reason why that was a big deal, I don't know if you know this, but in New York City, do you know that the New York City Police Department has a $1 billion budget?
I did not know that.
Yeah. $1 billion budget.
I mean...
And the reason why, this is the reason why. The reason why, and it all has to do with New York City in total. Terrorists and the fact that they did take down the World Trade Center. So they had to pay for all the security cameras in New York City, which of course is a lot. And of course, there's a lot of people. And when people think about, terrorizing places, it's better that they want to do it on a bigger scale than on a small scale. Like, no one's going to Jerkwater, Iowa, out in the wheel, you know what I mean? And then in the field, the cornfield, and blow something up. No one cares. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody out there, right? But, of course, you do something like that in New York, now you're making what they call world news, right? So, with that world news comes... how do we protect that city? I mean, remember, you got over 80 million people in New York City alone that we know of. Okay, so how do you protect that? So that's why they got a $1 billion budget.
Well, yeah, you know what it is? When I think of New York, for some reason, I always tend to think of Manhattan first, not really realizing that there's more to New York City than Manhattan. You got, Long Island, Staten Island, Brooklyn, the Bronx.
Oh, yeah. And it's like 20 or 30 million in each borough.
Exactly.
Easy.
And then too, right? You got to also take into consideration that they host some big events like New Year's Eve, Christmas in Rockefeller Center. And there's a lot of icons there too. You got the Statue of Liberty. You got the new Freedom Tower. I'm sure there's other iconic buildings that I'm not thinking of, but
Financial District, Wall Street.
I mean, exactly.
The stock exchange is there. The NASDAQ exchange is there.
That's true.
The commodities exchange is there. The American exchange is there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's, and then you got some of the top companies
in
the world are headquartered in New York City.
Yeah, that's true. And when you kind of, bring that all together, I mean, to be honest with you, I can see such a high budget just given what they're tasked in doing and protecting. You know who can cure coronavirus? The Man Perspective.
We got the vaccine, so tune in to The Man Perspective with K-Man
and The Don.
But you got to also understand, too, that, they have that. And then, of course, they have all the military equipment, the bomb sniffing equipment, you know what I mean? The robots and the tanks and the little special gadgets to go in and around the city to smoke out stuff in the subways and, bomb sniffing devices and all kinds of stuff. Because you got to understand, too, unlike a lot of other cities, you have what they call above ground patrolling and then you have underground patrolling.
Yeah.
Okay. You have all these subways. There's at least 30, 40 million people down in the subway.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They don't even count that. And I'm talking about all the lines that run through all the boroughs. So, and a lot of times you have more people down in the subway than you do above ground.
That's true. That is true.
So when they, knocked down the towers and they was like, about only 4,000 people or so, perished, I don't think they counted the people underground.
Maybe, yeah.
Because the people underground, a lot of them got hurt and died as well, but they're underground. You follow? As you well know, in New York City, the underground is a whole city down there.
Oh yeah.
Truly a whole city with restaurants. Am I right? With restaurants, shops, shopping, you name it. It's underground.
You're absolutely right.
And if you from New York or you've been in New York, you will know that when you go in the subway, there's shops in the subway, there's eateries in the subway, all below ground. So it's like a whole city.
That's true.
So you got to protect that as well. And then, like you said, landmarks like Times Square and New Year's Eve Ball and, all the streets, you have to protect that. And so it's going to cost some money to have cameras everywhere throughout Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, it's money. So that's how they come to this $1 billion budget.
Yeah.
But the one part of that budget that they need to deal with is training.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's good you got all these devices and things, but it's just basic training and how to relate to people and do things in the right manner. So when it comes to defunding, they want to take some monies away. Because this is the whole thing, how are they getting all these artilleries? But with a place like New York City, yeah, they need it. I get it. But if you're in Jerkwater, Texas somewhere, or, somewhere in South Dakota, I don't see why you need a tank or, you know what I mean? All this money or this big budget that you have to do things when a lot of that money may be taken from their budget to do some things that you need to do as far as helping the people out.
I agree.
So I understand when they talk about, and it may vary from state to state on some states are spending more money than other states, and I'll give you an example. When they had that Boston Marathon bomb guy, right? When he detonated the bomb, did you see how many agencies came out there?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they not only had the FBI, CIA, and everybody like that, and then of course you had the ATF. But I've saw guys had jackets like the filter group, like who are these guys, man? And and they all work with explosives, and you had explosive guy, you had the license guy, you had all these different agencies. Just to catch that one guy, right? Just to catch that one guy, they had all these agencies. And on top of that, they had all the tools, right? They had the bomb sniffing. They had the tanks they was rolling in there with. I mean, they came full meta jacket all the way down. Catch this one guy. I mean, they literally had to shut the whole entire city down just to catch him. But it needed to be done. They had to catch him at all means. And they had to spend that kind of money. So you don't want to defund that because, who else was going to go and chase them like that? You know what I mean? Who else is going to fund them? But they had to be funded. And so when everyone's screaming, we got to defund them and get rid of them, understand that when it comes to terrorists and things like that in your city, you're going to hope that they're there. You're going to hope they're fully armed too with all the greatest tools and newest tools and things like that.
Absolutely.
Do you know they have a show for police gadgets and stuff like that? Like we have like an electronic show where they have like a show where they show you, like a convention where they show all the latest tools that police can use. Yeah, the police can use, yeah. And it's big bucks, man. It is. I happened to go to one at one time, but it's mostly for, because I had a guy who was a police officer and he invited me to the show and you go in there and they show you all the latest and greatest tools that they use to subdue people and all the different types of guns and cars and armor and you name it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but it's all new state-of-the-art stuff. And believe me, it costs money too.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, it's like millions of dollars, man. It ain't like a couple $100 and you can walk out of there. It's like contracts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they go in there and they really look for contracts.
Oh, yeah.
And say, hey, man, how many do you want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bulletproof vests, guns, and, whatever you need, man. We got 100 of them. You want 300 of them? We got 300 of them,
Yeah. They're looking for like department-wide purchases.
Correct. And so on that note, when everybody's so quick to say, let's defund the police, my question is always like, well, what about all these terrorists and people blowing up stuff? And if they are not there watching the eyes and ears through the cameras and the helicopters and all these other little devices and smoke detectors and bomb detectors, and if they didn't do that, who would?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
That's my question. If no one else does it, who's going to do that? Right. No one's going to do that.
I mean, I feel the same way on the subject. I mean, I'm not for defunding them, retraining them. Absolutely.
Right.
But defunding them, that's not really the answer because what that's going to do, and you're kind of seeing it in some places, that means there's less cops out on the street to protect the citizens. That also means response time goes up. And in certain situations, that could mean somebody's life. And in a case like New York, if they defund them, that means there's less officers on the street. What happens if, God forbid, there's another terror attack or just something where they need officers en masse to catch somebody, right?
I say just let us all carry a gun.
Yeah, but
that'll do it. Let me carry my gun, and that way,
like, I think that'll help. But
yeah,
you're definitely going to need cops there. Otherwise, think about this: everybody carrying guns, and there's no police. That's the Wild West all over again.
That's right. But I say, hey, don't defund them. Let me carry my piece. Let me carry my pistol with me.
I definitely agree.
That's all. If y'all can't get the job done, you better believe I will. That's all.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean? I shoot first and ask questions later. You know what I mean? It's the American way. But no, we make joke of it. But you know what? It's serious though. If we had a chance to carry, I believe a lot would change. And I believe the police would change their attitude too.
Yeah.
You know, I think the police that you wouldn't get so many people pulling people over and drawing their weapons on people and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
You might see more of it at first.
Yeah, but you know what? They're going to think a little bit twice now. Because now it's like, hey, you know, pull on me, I pull on you. What you want to do? And then, like you said, it becomes the Wild Wild West. Yeah.
Exactly.
Life, love, relationships.
Get yourself some.
It's what you need.
That's right.
The Man Perspective.
With K-Man.
And the Don.
It can be done, but it has to be done with the idea of respect for each other in mind, because a situation like that can get real crappy real fast. And if there's not that mutual respect and understanding for each other, just as people, right? That's when it goes off the deep end. Then we're back in the Wild West. If we can find a way to keep that mutual respect and understanding of just we're all people just trying to live in mind, I think that mixed with the fact of, if we carry, there definitely would be a lot less crime. I think in the long run, it'll be a lot better. There may be some stumbling blocks initially, but yeah, I think it would be better all around.
But I think the cops would love for us to carry because we're helping them out.
Yeah.
That would be the consensus, I would think. Like, dude, I'm here to help you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm in your corner.
Oh, yeah.
You packing, I'm packing. Hey, you know what I mean? Yeah, I know you went to school and you went through the boot camp, but I did my training and I'm qualified to carry and, hey.
Absolutely.
So when something go down, hey, I'm right there with you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to run. Trust me, I'm not running. If you running in that building, I'm running in that building too. I'm just not running that building empty-handed. That's all. That's all I'm saying. But I'm running in that building with you, pal.
No.
So no, I don't want to defend you, man. I want to help you out.
No.
So let me carry, and I can help you out.
No? Yeah, I mean, I think we need it because you could put as many cops in the force in a town as you want. They can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah,
so
can't be everywhere.
I do think that if we were all able to carry, I think the people with bad intentions would think twice, and that would stop a lot of those bad intentions from becoming reality.
Exactly. Now, let's play the devil advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
For all those who say, hey, let's defund the police, right? Remember that commercial that Trump had back in the day, right? What was it? If you see a crime, hang on the line, we'll get back to you in 4 days and all like that. And then they had an old lady sitting there on the phone while someone in the background in her house walking around, right? That's defund the police.
And obviously exaggerated for political and dramatic effect of a commercial. But, I mean, in some situations, it could be that bad. And, that's definitely not good. If you thought what you just heard was crazy, just wait till we come back from commercial break.
I mean, and to all those who say, hey, let's defund the police, let's paint this scenario. You're at home. You hear some gunshots. you hope the cops gonna come by.
Well, yeah.
And if they do, which normally they probably will, right? Are you gonna go in there with them and see what's going on? With nothing, mind you, with no gun, nothing. Are you gonna go in there and see what the hell's going on?
No.
So thus,
that's
why we need the
really
police.
Big stick or something, because
Right.
you gotta arm myself with something.
Right. But gunfire or things happen, you want the cops to come and take care of it. That's what, and hey, that's what they get paid for.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. So instead of taking the money away from them, tell them, listen, you go out there and do your job. There should be a cop on every corner, as far as I'm concerned. There should be a cop walking. There should be a cop driving. There should be a cop in these places so that they don't have these mass shootings, because cops should be there. Why nobody's there? Like, there should be cops in the bank. There should be cops in the grocery stores. There should be cops there are cops on the plane, which we never see them. But, there should be cops there. Cops in the stores, cops in the schools, cops in the movie theater. Make me feel safe. You know what I mean? I'm trying to win these guys here. Like, come on, man. Make me feel safe, for Christ's sakes, and be there when we need you. That's my only issue. Be there when we need you. I want to see your faces. And maybe if we see more of you in some of these places, then you know what? Maybe I can feel safe. Maybe if I see a whole bunch of them in Walmart, I don't have to worry about somebody coming up in Walmart and shoot me. Make sense? Maybe if I see a whole bunch of them walking around in the movie theater, maybe I'll feel safe going to the movie theater and don't have to worry about somebody coming up in there and shooting me. Maybe if I saw a whole bunch of police officers in uniform with their arm and so forth walking around the club, you know what? Maybe I will feel a little safe. I ain't got to worry about somebody going to come up in the club and just start shooting. Maybe if I had, and everybody think about this now, even if you look at your own workplace, maybe if you had a whole bunch of cops walking around your workplace, would you feel safe?
The chance of something bad happening is very, very unlikely.
Slim to none. Exactly. Slim to none. Okay.
Absolutely.
And it makes me think and wonder, like, even when that guy did all those shootings in, Las Vegas, he was on top floor. Well, maybe if it was a whole bunch of police officers on that floor, seeing this guy walking in and out, you know what I mean? Maybe it could have deterred him.
Yeah.
And maybe if he did happen to do something, they would have heard it in his window and they could have responded a heck of a lot faster.
Yeah.
So defund, don't defund, you be the judge. But it's a tough job, but doggone it, somebody got to do it.
That's true.
And that's what they get paid to do, is protect and serve. So do your job, be out there, let us see you, and keep America safe. Again. The Man Perspective. Now you heard our perspective. It's time to hear yours. Get at us at themanperspective@gmail.com.
Or use the hashtag #TheManPerspective.